Hi everyone and welcome back to the Colour Cave. It's Jem here and I have a quick viewer request video. Your wish is my command, and I'm going to do a really quick flip through of Colin Thompson's colouring book, which some of you saw me doodling in at the weekend. I'll leave a link in the card and down in the description if you'd like to go and watch that Colour and Chat video, and I'll also stick it on the end card so that you can go and watch it after you've seen this. So basically, Colin Thompson has designed jigsaws for Ravensburger, which I'm sure some of you might be familiar with, and he has basically converted some of his jigsaws and mixed it in with his own artwork to create a colouring book. Now, the interesting thing about Colin as a person is that he's actually colourblind, and he designed and coloured all these drawings himself for the jigsaws, and I'll show you a little bit of that as we go through the book. So there is a little bit about Colin down in this section here, and he's what I would describe as the perfect English gentleman. He really is, and he's got a wicked sense of humour as well. So you can see down the bottom here, I did a quick pencil test. The paper is really toothy, and I know that can be quite off-putting for some people, but it's something for me. We have lots of different ways to blend coloured pencils, so there are ways to still get that nice smooth finish that some of you like. I do find that polychromos pencils get on slightly better than Prismacolors, so generally speaking you would be better with a harder pencil, and it just so happens that the harder pencils that I have are oil based, so that's something to think about if you're going to have a look. So here is the first double page, and this gives you a really good feel for what Colin's artwork is all about, and I just think it's absolutely stunning. You're going to have to excuse Pip. This is my collie. She's down, beside the desk, and she's got one of her nylobones, and she's so noisy. So I hope that this doesn't get picked up too much. So yeah, the whole idea behind Colin's artwork is it kind of reminds me of the Where's Wally books or the Where's Waldo books, in that there is like a gajillion things going on. So you can see this is the page that I've started, and I literally just work a square at a time, because if you were trying to get a whole page done or a double page, it would be quite overwhelming. So this page is a bookcase, obviously, but all the books have punny names, and some of them are quite funny. So down in this bottom corner here, this is a sort of musical themed section, and one of the books is called Gone with the Woodwind, so that gives you an idea of the type of humour that's in this. So there is quite a lot of variety though, and some of the pages aren't just quite as complicated. So you can see here this selection of doors is a little bit less intimidating, and I actually think for someone that's maybe not as experienced at colouring, this would be a much better page to start on. Now, the thing I really like about Colin's drawings as well is that he has put in a lot of shading, so this sort of greyscale effect is really helpful in aiding you to colour parts, and you can colour with flat colour and you're going to get a great result, but you also have those guidelines there to help you darken down areas if that's what you want to do. Now this to me, I don't know if he drew this way up, but you can see it's got these sort of illusion staircases, and every time you turn it round, you know, you have a different part of the drawing as the right way up, and I just think that's fantastic. It's got such a good imagination. Here we go, here's another simpler one, and this to me just screams out, this is just dying for watercolour pencils or Inktense pencils. You've got this sort of smoky part as well. Again, a little bit less detail, a little bit easier to work on. I have a feeling that Mr. Thompson likes books, can you tell? And this is basically, it looks like a castle that's made entirely out of books. And you can see that these little turrets here, these might be houses along here. The roofs are all, you know, books that have been sat on their pages, which is just immense. This is really pretty. So you see what I mean about the variation in the types of images? That is a full scene, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's got this lovely patterned border around it as well. So there really is, I mean, there's a lot of variety in this book, and I think that's something that's really nice, especially if you're a person that's easily bored. So this is going back to more of the style of the first bookcase page, and this is really nice because you can just concentrate on one tiny square at a time and just colour it, and you can walk away and come back to it whenever you want. Okay, so maybe this is one of the more stressful pages, but look at the level of detail. You'll never be short of things to colour, and the variety of the items that are in the pictures as well. They are really good. This is one of the more out there pictures, and this is more my kind of taste. It's just something that's a little bit sort of out of the ordinary, and you could do anything you want with that. I mean, you really could. I think it's lovely as it is though in the greyscale. So we have, this kind of reminds me, this little bit down here, it reminds me of like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter or something like that. All these little, you know, sort of medieval type shop fronts. And again, just so much going on in these pictures, I mean, really. And also there's books, obviously, there's books. Here we go, here's another more sort of scene, which I mean, I think this is just lovely. And for those of you that like to colour flowers, ta-da! Absolutely gorgeous. Now here's one I think this might take a bit of time. Look at all these leaves. And we have a person down here, and then it's got these kind of like insects, and this is obviously a little enchanted village or, you know, town of some description, and there's little men looking over the tree roots, and just what an imagination. And we've got a big building here that looks as if it's been built on top of a mountain. And there's a dog in the hot air balloon here. But even if you wanted to work on your backgrounds, this is perfect because again, you've got guidelines there to show you where you could change the colours if it's something that you wanted to practice or work on. And here's something a bit more robust. I would say, without being sexist, and I do not mean this the way it's going to sound, but there are an awful lot of cutesy images and colouring books, and I feel that particularly for our male counterparts in the colouring community, this is something that's a bit more appealing. It's appealing to me, but that's because I work on a farm and I like machinery, and I like colouring things that are metal as well. But it's just nice to see that bit of variety there, and there's this lovely stormy sky in the background as well. You could have some fun with that. Here's another really busy one. that I think this is one of the ones that would take you a considerable amount of time to do. I would love for someone to colour one of these really detailed double pages and let me know how long it took them. So here we have another one that's back to more sort of shelves and sections, and again there's just a myriad of things going on. And this kind of puts me in mind of Monty Python, you know, it's got that sort of chaotic feel to it. Here we have a more nature themed one as well. I really like this one, and I think if I ever finish the bookcases at the front, I think this is where I would go next, because this is just, the artwork in this is stunning because he jumps between that sort of cartoony style, like down here with this little door, to, you know, much more sort of realistic, you know, like backgrounds here. You know, there's a little scene going on, and his birds as well. So he's such a talented man, and his books are amazing. And a patchwork balloon as well. A house in a bathtub. I think he's been hanging out with Bennett Klein. What do you think, guys? And here we have more tree roots, but there's lots of things hiding in the tree roots. And you could spend hours just looking at these pictures, and every time you looked, you'd find something else. It's a collection of, just a collection of things. So there's a ring sitting on top of a chimney here. So it is quite random, and I appreciate that, you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea. But see, just to have it to look through it, it's a sight to behold. I mean, where do you even start with this? I'm going to zoom in on this section a little bit just to show you. It's in shot. I mean, look at the level of detail. Now, I have small hands, and there is my pinky nail. And some of these details are so tiny. So you'd have to, you know, you have to be really hardcore, hardcore colourist to do this. So let's keep flicking. Again, there's one with less detail. I think that would be really relaxing to colour, you know, just with the river and the larger surface area parts to get your pencils into. I do like this sectional approach that he takes to the book, and it just makes his pictures a bit more digestible for colouring, definitely, and I think personally it makes it more relaxing. But some of these are just absolutely stunning. It's a little house on the staircase there. And we've got it looks like a frazzled chef on this side. He's got his little whisk in his hand. This creature here, I think this has to be friends with the Gruffledumpf that I've coloured in the first page. If you don't know what a Gruffledumpf is, you'll need to go and check out that other video. Again, very reminiscent of the first page, just back to this bookcase style. So if you're really into that, you've got plenty of those to choose from. This is beautiful as well. All the detail in the wood grain and everything. A frog and a snail. They're kind of cozied up together there. Another sort of surreal one. He's got his laptop and the house comes out of the laptop. just some imagination. I really like this one as well. I quite like colouring wood grain, so this picture's right up my street as well. Looks like an old ramshackle building of some description. This guy hiding in here. So yeah, there's not really much more to say. There's lots of variety, there's lots of detail, there's lots of bookcases. Here's another one. This one's got a Christmas tree in it. So, you know, you're not going to be stuck if you decide you're sick of colouring animals, or, you know, you'll always find something else here. There's always something to colour. I would just say that don't get ambitious and think that you're going to finish this book anytime soon, because you're really not. I love this as well with the guitar. And this one's so pretty. This is one of my favourites as well. And I think because there's a lot of greyscale and a lot of contrast in it, and again, you know, that there's quite a lot of his sort of more realistic drawing in it as well, which he's just so talented. Now the nice thing about this is on this back page here, he says, finished, then sit back in your favourite armchair. The one below belongs to me, and by the way, if you've coloured it right, it should be green. Treat yourself to a nice relaxing cup of tea, or better still coffee, and if your fingers, hands and arms are aching from all that colouring in, don't expect any sympathy from me. After all, I drew all the pictures myself, even though I'm colourblind. So that's a lovely little way to finish this book. And on this side here, you can see some of the original Jigsaw puzzles. And I think this is lovely because you can pinch some of the colour schemes from these colour photographs, and, you know, from this, you know, from the cover as well. So I just think that's a really nice touch. So there you go, that is Colin Thompson's colouring book. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed flicking through here, and you can check out the end card now for some more videos if you want to see some more colouring stuff. We'll see you next time in the cave. Bye for now.